Renowned in all corners of the galaxy for their spirituality and strong connection to the Force, the Mirialan endure rigorous mental and physical training rituals to become both formidable warriors and skilled negotiators. Their reputation is not without merit. Mirialan are taken from home at a young age to be educated at one of the many youth academies. There, they are instilled with the cultural ideologies that have been ingrained into Mirialan society for hundreds of generations. Deeply held spiritual beliefs are the cornerstone of Mirialan culture. Their understanding of the Force is based on the idea that the actions of each individual affect not only their own fate, but also the destiny of the Mirialan as a whole. In Star Wars: The Old Republic, you can play any type of character as a Mirialan, as species are not restricted to certain origin stories or combat styles in this game. However, you may need to first unlock the Mirialan species depending on what class you want to play as. If you're a free-to-play player, you'll first need to unlock the Mirialan species before you can create a Mirialan character. Free-to-play players have access to humans, cyborgs, and Zabraks by default for free. Subscribers, however, can automatically create a Jedi Knight, Jedi Consular, Smuggler, or Trooper, basically any Republic origin story, as a Mirialan while they are subscribed. Once your character is created, you don't need to remain subscribed to continue playing that created character. There's 3 different ways you can unlock Mirialans for all classes. The first option is available to all players, and it's purchasing the item called Legacy Species Unlock Mirialan from the Cartel Market with Cartel Coins or from the GTN with credits. The Cartel Market version costs 600 Cartel Coins. The GTN price will vary based on the day and the server, but it's probably pretty expensive, so this isn't necessarily the recommended option. Unlock option number 2. Subscribers and preferred players who have a Mirialan character already can play a Mirialan on a Jedi Knight, Jedi Consular, Smuggler, or Trooper, and then level them to level 50, which will automatically unlock the Mirialan option for all future characters on that server, including the Sith Warrior, Bounty Hunter, Imperial Agent, and Sith Inquisitor. And lastly, the most convenient option, unlock option number 3. Subscribers can also unlock Mirialans for all origin stories by spending 1.5 million credits as part of the Legacy system after they have reached level 10 and unlock the Legacy system. Free-to-play and preferred can technically too, but they have a credit cap of 1 million credits, which makes it very difficult to do. Now let's talk about what type of class you might want to make your Mirialan character as. We'll start with the 2 Jedi characters. The Jedi Knight is a symbol of hope in dark times, and the Jedi Knight stands for the legacy of the Jedi Order, protecting the Republic and keeping the peace across the galaxy. Jedi Consulars channel the power of the Force for strength in combat and wisdom in diplomacy. Jedi Consulars always seek to grow their knowledge. Due to the spiritual society of their homeworld, the Jedi Knight and Jedi Consular are probably the best fit for a Mirialan character. Mirialans have been a part of the Jedi Order for many generations, and there's always been at least one Mirialan in residence in the Jedi Order. You'll encounter many Mirialan Jedi Knights and Masters as you play, either as friends or foes, depending on what faction you choose to play on. The most well-known Mirialan in Star Wars lore is Luminara Unduli, and she is a Jedi Master that you see in the Star Wars movies, and she's actually kind of the prototype for the Jedi Consular. Some of the early designs for the Jedi Consular outfits are directly based off her robes in the movies. Although Mirialans are perfect for the Jedi classes, it doesn't mean you can't make a different type of class work. Troopers are the embodiment of the Republic military's highest aspirations, the most advanced fighting force in the galaxy, and Mirialans make up much of the troops of the Republic military. It's not at all uncommon to see a Mirialan soldier. Soon after you create your Trooper character, you'll join the Elite Havoc Squad and meet Wraith, a Mirialan infiltration and assassination specialist. Next up is the Smuggler. Above all else, smugglers make their own destinies. Smugglers require fast reflexes, fast wits, and a fast draw with a blaster. Smugglers are beholden to no traditions, and it would not be surprising to see a Mirialan smuggler. The most famous smuggler in Old Republic lore was Hylo Viz. She was a Mirialan who broke the Mandalorian blockade. In-game, it will be much less common to see Imperial Mirialans because you would need to unlock them first before playing them, and you can have some very interesting roleplay and story opportunities if you decide to do this. Let's start off with the two Sith classes. An unstoppable force of darkness, the Sith warrior is entrusted with the task of destroying the Empire's enemies and enforcing Sith domination across the galaxy. Dark secrets are the lifeblood of the Sith Inquisitor. The Inquisitor experiments with forbidden powers in order to excel and seize authority. So the Sith Inquisitor actually starts off as a slave in the story, and aliens being oppressed by the Empire is a common theme in the universe. While it is uncommon to see an alien in the ranks of the Sith, a prominent Sith named Darth Malgus has seized the opportunity to create a new empire, one that embraces alien cultures and is strengthened by diversity. Let's take a look at the two Imperial tech classes. It's never a question if a bounty hunter will find you, only when. Both infamous and anonymous at the same time, bounty hunters are far more than mercenaries for hire. Bounty hunters carve their own paths, and it would not be surprising to see a Mirialan bounty hunter, and you'll meet a Mirialan hunter during the Great Hunt as part of the bounty hunter storyline. Imperial agents must master the arts of infiltration, seduction, and assassination to carry out the most dangerous and sensitive Imperial assignments. While it is uncommon to see an alien in the ranks of Imperial intelligence, the Minister of Intelligence recognizes the need to take advantage of an alien mind. This falls right in line with Darth Malgus' plan to create a new empire, strengthened by the diversity of alien species. When you go to create your Mirialan character, you'll have quite a few options available. Let's talk a bit about the visual hallmarks of the Mirialan. The first is their skin color. They basically look like humans, but they are in various shades of green, yellow, green-brown, olive, along those types of ranges. As Mirialans fall to the dark side, they have the option to turn on dark side corruption, where they begin to lose pigment in their skin and their eyes turn yellow, then orange. Although Mirialans are deeply spiritual and lean towards becoming Jedi, they are not immune to the pull of the dark side of the Force. The second visual indicator for Mirialans are their tattoos. Personal achievements are recorded on each individual's body with geometric tattoos. The shapes and locations of the tattoos denote different actions in the life of the Mirialan, and upon death, the markings are used to determine the cultural worth of the individual and their contributions to furthering the Mirialan as a whole. Probably the most well-known tattoos are the ones belonging to Luminara Unduli and her Padawan Barriss Offee. Their unique and specific tattoos indicate their fate, or rather the Force, that singled them out for great destinies. Being both Mirialan and Jedi, they trusted that the Force would show them their paths when the time was right. So what exactly do the different tattoos mean? A full lexicon of Mirialan tattoos and their various meanings would be extensive beyond the imagining of other species, and even most Mirialans cannot memorize the entirety of the tattoo lexicon. Part of the reason of this is the subtle interactions between the placement and positioning of different geometric shapes. A slight variation in spacing or placement on an individual's face can drastically change the meaning of a tattoo set. While this ensures the Mirialans can portray the entirety of their life histories on their faces, it also means very few non-Mirialans can decipher the markings. Here's some more patterns seen in various Star Wars media for Mirialan tattoos. Many players like to create their own designs for their personal characters. Although the options in-game are limited to what's available in the character creator, you're free to imagine what your own Mirialan's tattoos look like and mean. You can find many drawings of players' custom Mirialans online for inspiration and ideas. How do their tattoos affect the way they interact? Because Mirialans are so open about their personal histories, their society holds an inherent level of stratification. Those who have enjoyed past successes are automatically recognized and lauded for their success, and trusted with greater opportunities. In contrast, an individual who has made poor choices early in life is less likely to receive opportunities for redemption. After all, anyone who meets an individual can immediately recognize the Mirialan's past transgressions. Many who have made poor choices feel constrained to paths that limit them to an unfortunate ultimate outcome. However, for many, their faith in fate can provide the motivation to transform their lives. Some believe that their mistakes serve as learning experiences for later challenges. Let's talk about naming your character. You can choose any name you want for your Mirialan character. You do not have to try and follow any type of conventions, as Mirialans have spread far and wide across the galaxy, with some being given a traditional Mirialan name, while others have been given a name traditional to their home planet, and others take on a code name or nickname. Unlike many other species in Star Wars, Mirialans do not seem to have any canon naming rules or suggestions. The biggest examples we have of Mirialan names are Luminara Unduli and Barriss Offee, both longer names with multiple syllables and minimal sharp sounds. In contrast, the most famous Old Republic-era Mirialan is Hylo Viz, whose name is not at all similar to the two Jedi I just mentioned. Other Mirialans, like Wraith, choose to take a code name. If you'd like a huge list of canon names to check out, as well as some name generator you can try out, I've got a link to the written version of this guide in the description of this video. There's been a lot of famous Mirialans over the years. In Star Wars, we of course have Luminara Unduli and Barriss Offee, but we also have Kyo Venzi, a pilot from the Squadrons game, the Seventh Sister, an Inquisitor. From the Rebels TV series, we've got Vernestra. From the High Republic era, we've got Sinara San, a pirate. From Star Wars Resistance, Sizzlin Mur from the comics, the Jedi Master to Mace Windu. And Belandi Fear, a Force Healer Jedi Consular from the Force and Destiny rulebooks. There's lots of named Mirialans in Star Wars The Old Republic as well. The most well-known is the smuggler Hylo Viz, who you actually get to meet in the story. We mentioned Wraith from the Trooper story. We've got Somnic Timms, you may have run into him, he's a Jedi Master. And Zai Uram, who's a Jedi Master who helps out on Dantooine. I hope that gives you a good idea of what type of Mirialan character you might want to make. Now I'm going to be doing a very deep dive into Mirialan lore culture from every source that I could find about them in the Star Wars universe. You don't need to know any of this if you're creating a Mirialan character. This is more if you want to create a true backstory for your character and really understand what they might be like. Mirialans are a near-human species from the planet Mirial. Their culture is characterized by a deep-seated faith and respect for an individual's destiny. Mirialans undergo ritual tattooing to represent the ways that they have overcome the obstacles that fate placed before them. Mirial was a cold desert planet just off the Hydian Way between Yavin and Almania. Mirialans were religious and adhered to a primitive understanding of the Force. They believed each individual's actions contributed to his or her destiny, and they placed unique tattoos on their faces and hands to signify their completion of specific tests and tasks. As they matured, their tattoos naturally increased in number, allowing other Mirialans to quickly know what role they would play in the culture. Mirialans are physiologically extremely similar to humans. Their most obvious departure from human norms is in their skin tone, which ranges in color from green to paler yellow-green. Hair color tends towards blacks and browns, while eye color can encompass human tones in addition to yellow, orange, and red. They are generally regarded as capable martial artists, as Mirialans are typically both faster and more agile than humans. Their home planet, Mirial, is located near the Hydian Way, not far from the corporate sector. The world is both dry and cold, which has forced the Mirialans to go to great lengths just to survive its challenges. Mirialan is the native tongue of Mirial, though most Mirialans also learned Basic during childhood. Mirialan religion is based upon their limited understanding of the cosmic force, which they identify as fate. Even those incapable of directly interacting with the Force have faith in fate's presence and recognize that it is a guiding force in their lives. Because of this, Mirialans hold a deep-seated respect for Force practitioners. Before the Clone Wars, there was always at least one Mirialan Jedi in residence at the Jedi Temple. When the Sith Empire first returned at the start of the Great War, the Mirialan homeworld became a safe haven for many refugees from the Outer Rim. Seeing the plight of the refugees and fearing that Miriel could become another Sith conquest, many Mirialans enlisted with the Republic military, while others sought to hone their Force sensitivity within the Jedi Order. The Republic itself is a heterogeneous organization made up of species from across the galaxy, and its military reflects that diversity. Humans remain the most common species among fresh recruits and battle-scarred veterans alike. Even the usually spiritual and pensive Mirialans boast an impressive enlistment rate. Charm is a fundamental skill for smugglers. It helps to have a face people think they can trust. Or at least one that can sell a cargo hold of substandard blasters to trigger-happy freedom fighters. Many successful freelance entrepreneurs are human, cyborgs, or near-human species such as Twi'leks, Sabriks, and Mirialans, as their facial expressions give them an edge in negotiations. This may also explain why certain smugglers seem to have a romantic fling awaiting them in every spaceport. Like any member of the Jedi Order, consulars can hail from any planet and Force-sensitive species in the galaxy. Though most consulars are humans, Sabriks, and Twi'leks, Mirialans are also frequently drawn to this path as a continuation of their cultural reverence for the Force. Master Luminara Unduli was a Mirialan Jedi, a native of the cold, desert world of Miriel just off the Hydian Way between Yavin and Almania. Like other Jedi, Luminara left her homeworld to live at the Jedi Temple when she was still a toddler. She maintained her native culture as taught to her by her master, who was also from Miriel. For several hundred years, the Jedi Temple always had at least one Mirialan Jedi in residence, each training the next in the Jedi arts and in the history and culture of their homeworld. Padawan Barriss Offee was an impulsive and enthusiastic 20-year-old woman apprenticed to her fellow Mirialan, Master Luminara. Though much of Master Luminara's personality rubbed off on Barriss, the young apprentice was overconfident, sometimes even a bit reckless, in her attempts to satisfy her curiosity. Several times during a mission on the world of Ancion, Barriss allowed herself to be distracted and separated from Luminara. Each time she found herself straying too far, Barriss called upon the Force to either set her free or provide guidance. Though the young woman's self-sufficiency impressed Luminara, the Master also hoped that Barriss would refrain from taking foolish risks and trusting the Force to keep her safe. Like Luminara, Barriss Offee wore the distinctive ritual tattoos of the Mirialan people. She visited Miriel once, when she was just beginning on her Padawan training. She had the same fruitwood-colored skin tone and piercing blue eyes of her master, but her tattoos ran across her cheeks, the bridge of her nose, and the backs of her hands. As with Master Luminara, the patterns elaborated on her destiny and spoke of her character, at least to other Mirialan, but her tattoos were not as detailed as Luminara's. Barriss knew that she would acquire more as she grew older, but she was slightly concerned that she might be the last of the Mirialan Jedi. No Force-sensitive Mirialan children had been discovered in quite some time, and Barriss was already close to undertaking her tests to become a Jedi Knight. Master Luminara told her it was the Force's way of pointing out that she was still too young and impulsive to teach someone else how to grow up. In any case, Barriss Offee reminded herself that the Force would reveal her destiny in time, and nothing she could do would hurry it along. I hope you enjoyed this really in-depth look into the lore surrounding Mirialans in Star Wars, and I hope it helped you kind of create the idea of what your character might be like in this game or any other Star Wars creation you're making. If you either already have or are creating a Mirialan character, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. If you want to show your support for this huge series about Star Wars The Old Republic, visit Swtorista.com/support, and if you want more videos like this to show up on your YouTube homepage, subscribe to this channel. As always, may the Force be with you.